Welcome to Yerba Talks.
Welcome to the Aftershow. I am Max. Cat is in my bed, sleeping belly up, with right next to the fan. So I wasn't going to bother him on that. He was so soundly asleep that I didn't want to bother him. We have a debate between Dr. Greg and Jimbob. What it was funny. It's always funny when Jimbob debates evolution. Let's get you the link there. And before we go, make sure to do the social thingies, like, share, subscribe, send this to a friend, send this to your significant other, go to the corner, yes, the corner of your street, and you'll subscribe to Yerba Talks. And that way we can share the love for the channel. All right, let's pin that link and we'll get started. Vanguard says, I'm tired, going to bed. Enjoy the conversation, gentlemen and fantastic ladies. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. Hope you have a nice rest. Come on. What is happening? I should have reset my computer. I don't know why I don't do that every time. I'm such a dummy. All right. There's very few of us because Toon is live tonight. But Greg's opening, I did enjoy that he gave us a narrative, but a narrative that directly comports to freaking reality, which is the best. He didn't just tell us a story. He told us how that story directly correlates with reality about flies adapting to certain toxins on top of a cactus. Cacti is the plural. Which was I wasn't sure at the beginning if he was going to be able to land that plane, but he did, and it was awesome. And then there was one thing in his opening that I did appreciate also, which is the concept of, let's call it evolutionary money. Making a change has certain costs. There's always a trade-off, right? If you're going to be great in the water, then you're going to be almost completely useless in the land and so on. And the idea that these changes have a certain cost, I think that it's something that it's not discussed nearly enough. I actually thought that Jimbob might get stuck on that, but he didn't today. He got stuck on some other stuff, and we'll cover that later. Then we had Jimbob's opening, which complete nonsense, basically. The way that I see it is you cannot Philbro science. You can't just dismiss science with Philbro stuff. This is exactly what flat earthers do, and that's why we argue with them. But this idea that, oh, this is a fallacy, blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, we have an experiment. You can't call an experiment a fallacy. Just give it up. It's not going to work. But yeah, those are my thoughts on that. Oh, well, we're going to talk about that in just a moment. Now, those are my thoughts on the openings for both. I think Dr. Greg had a huge advantage placating to Jimbob's science denial in the fact that he's an experimental molecular biologist, which actually works in the lab. So Jimbob doesn't have the lame deflection that they always use, like, oh, we need an experiment, completely ignoring that observational science exists. Fortes says, Jimbob did a good job considering everything. Oh, obviously destroyed. We would have to unpack that a little bit more, but because I don't think he did a good job at all. He doesn't understand the topic. So you can't do a good job when you do not understand the topic at all. When all you're looking for from the get-go is not understanding the topic, but just reinforcing your previously held conclusions, aka God created everything and this is the way things were created. So during then we went to the open discussion. It kept pretty civil. Dr. Greg, I think, did well in managing. Jimbo can get a little bit animus or animate or agitate or whatever it is. But yeah. Ooh, yes. Woohoo. Welcome. How you doing? Or whatever it is. But yeah. Ooh, yes.
Hey, how going?
I'm doing awesome. Give me 1 second. How you doing?
Good. Give me once.
I'm hearing myself.
Sorry about that. You were on TV. I just switched that off.
Oh, you got it.
Is it okay now?
Yes, perfect. Thank you so much.
Right.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you? Nice to see you.
I am doing fantastic.
And I joined midway. I didn't realize this was on, so I joined in the middle of the back and forth part. So I can just start from there.
Yeah, I already
watched the openings, but given Dr. Greg's credentials, I think he must have done really well. He was really knowledgeable. I tested both of them with one question on simple how DNA alignment is done, and Jimbob had no freaking clue how that even related, whether it was a natural process or an artificial process that's used in the middle of paternity testing. Right. And so I'm sure his opening was miserable.
Jimbob's opening was just pure nonsense, field bro stuff, basically. And Dr. Greg, I wasn't convinced at the beginning because he started telling us a story, right, about some flies that get on a cactus, and the cactus has some certain chemical, something akin like a bug spray, kind of, right, to defend from flies. But then, like, he actually tied it back to reality and turned the story into an actual correlation with reality with the example of the flies that was extremely well put. And I wasn't convinced at the beginning. And then I was like, oh, that's a great technique. I think he did great. Generally, people, when they start with like a story for their opening, they don't round it out. But I think he did fantastic. It's one of the best evolution openings that I've seen in a while, really.
Nice. Yeah. I'll go back and rewatch it. Some of these evolutionary pathways are very interesting to listen to. So if you watch Pharyngula's YouTube or blog, do you know about Pharyngula?
No, I don't know.
His name is PZ Myers, PZ initials and Myers, and he's somebody that Kent Hovind talks about a lot, or used to talk about a lot. So PZ Myers is an evolutionary biologist. He teaches in some university in Minnesota, and he talks about all these stories, like how mammary glands evolve. So just like he was talking about penis evolution, mammary glands didn't evolve all of a sudden. They're actually modified sweat glands. So they didn't have the purpose of generating milk. They were sweat glands that eventually began secreting something that became advantageous, and then they got selected for. So platypus, which is a mammal that lays eggs, has got I don't think it has nipples or doesn't have breasts. I think the young just drink milk out of the mother's hair or something like that. So we can look up the precise details. But basically, if you study these organisms and if you know your biology really well, you can actually trace out that evolutionary path. So P.Z. Myers is somebody I'd highly recommend for these kinds of not stories, but these information on these pathways by which different things evolved. And Richard Dawkins paints lots of good pictures in his books, and I should qualify that to say that I don't agree with everything Richard Dawkins says, especially recently. I think he's becoming an ass, but he's done superb work on evolution, and he writes about that really well. So
Uh-huh.
we should give the devil his due.
The platypuses, I think that their mammary glands actually turn in. They have poison. They have like a spike below the front. I think it's the front flaps. They have like a spike that is poisonous. Yeah, if you platypuses are super cute, but they can
Right,
kill
right.
you.
No, I think they do contain venom. They have venom, but
Hmm.
they have mammary glands, but
Venom. Yeah, you're right.
they don't have nipples. So I think the venom is independent of that, and they lay eggs. So platypuses are in between mammals and reptiles, if you will.
Yeah, I like to say that when God came to make the platypus, he just hit the random button and
Exactly.
and it's like a thing that has like a duck bill, a castor tail, and a bunch of other weirdness stuff. Yeah, it's a
Right.
weird little
And what is
critter.
also funny about not funny, but unusual about platypuses is they've got 10 sex chromosomes. You know how we have two sex chromosomes? They have
Uh
10,
huh.
so 5 pairs. Yeah, it's totally random. They random in the sense if you study the evolution, if you read the paper where the platypus genome was sequenced, it's a fascinating read. I think it came out in Science or Nature about 15, 20 years ago, and it's a very fascinating read on how they tracked many evolutionary features of the platypus in that paper.
Yeah, that's so cool. Dragon sword. They have venomous spur on their
Exactly.
hind legs. Thank you
Highlights.
so much.
Thank
It's
you.
the hind legs. Yes. Um, So yeah, the openings were as expected, but I was sorry, genuinely impressed with Dr. Greg.
Uh-huh.
So if you want to give us your thoughts on the open discussion portion.
Sure. So when I joined, I felt Jim Bob was railroading the discussion into a direction he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel a bit sorry for Dr. Greg in that he tried to say style, he tried to stay silent and tried to be polite, but I think he was getting played a little bit. So most of the discussion was about purpose,
Yes.
right? And he kept on hammering this purpose thing, which is why I brought up the question at the end: did Latin purposely evolve into Spanish?
Mm-hmm.
Because many Spanish speakers cannot understand Latin. And many Spanish speakers could not have understood the intermediate language between Latin and Spanish. So even though you've got an object, an apple, Latin speakers and Spanish speakers and the intermediate language speakers would refer to it differently, and you won't be able to tell who's talking about what, right?
Yep.
So this whole notion of purpose that these creationists bring about to the table is just nonsense. So I think he was trying to hammer the purpose, and every once in a while he would bring one of his right wing, racist, bigoted talking
Oh
points.
boy, yeah.
Right? I mean, I almost switched off when he talked about the pedo stuff at the end, but also the whole thing about calling somebody an ape. I mean, humans are apes, but then he wanted to call one specific human being of all people that, right? Just bring out his racist side. I was just
Yeah.
disgusted. And this is
Yeah.
why now I will take Brenda's side today, and I think we have to object to what's his name, James, not objecting to these things. Uh, I know James is trying to
James
stay
is as
neutral and he has got a job to do or whatever, but I think
and
there's a
he is
limit.
as close. He James is as close as a free speech absolutist as you can get within the
I see.
bounds of what's on YouTube. But I mean, I agree. I generally agree with the sentiment. What I don't agree is in like censoring these people. I think it's way more effective to just like
let them
basically
go.
show how showcase how awful they are, because
How awful
the
and dumb and great.
the smug look on his face when he said George Floyd
A dead giveaway.
was was also an ape. It's like, but yeah, dude, there is no distinction because we are all apes.
Exactly.
So it's not really a big problem. So wipe that grin off your face,
Right.
and go back to being racist in hiding.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I
go ahead.
felt that he was just dominating the discussion, and all of it was asking questions to Dr. Greg, and Dr. Greg not being able to bring out his scientific knowledge in that portion of the debate. I kind of felt bad for that, but I think it's just Jim Bob's debating style. It's the same debating style as Kent Hovind or any of these flat earthers. All they do is railroad. That's the only way they can get a point across.
Yeah, some people complained about the framing. There were some people saying, "Oh, attack creationism" and so on. But the title of the debate, which is there, it was "Evolution on Trial." So, he was supposed to be like on the defensive. That being said, Jimbo is like as slimy as they come, and of course, he was doing all of the things that they regularly do. But
Right.
now that you mentioned flat earthers.
Oh, did you follow the side chat?
Yes, everyone's favorite section makes a comeback. Colorado Biker, hello, my friend. Good job. How are you doing? Haven't seen
He
you in
makes
a while. Hope
algae
you're
look
doing
intelligent.
well. Oh yeah. All right. So let's cover some of the derpiest comments on the debate. Starting with this.
That'll be fun.
Oh my, yes. Here, screenshot. Jake and Finn are math. Lol. Greg is conceding. I'll take things that never happened. Max asked this question: Jimbo, what's the shape of the Earth? Only flat or globe are acceptable. And of course, this caused a ruckus on some of the dummies in the chat. Adam Herbert, Arch, nice false dichotomy, and has the goal of calling him a moron. Like, okay. Still play outside. That's a lot of R's. You must be American. Of course, not understanding that it was Argentinian pesos. People baffled by different currencies is always amazing. Literally not at all what he's saying, but okay, keep your presumptions if it makes you feel better about yourself. For everyone, Jimbo did say globe, but my suspicion is that he has been instructed by Daddy Andrew, you cannot flirt anymore because you make us look bad. That is my guess, and I'm sticking to that. Jim Biscotti, also baffled by Argentinian pesos. F-Kit Button, doing the exchange rate. Theirs is shaped like lizard man, fellow tinfoil hat. This one was funny. Manar reports. How do you know? Manar, contrary to what everyone would have thought, and I think I have seen Manar debate against evolution, or maybe it was the Big Bang. I don't remember. But Manar supports evolution for some reason. Manar also said, I'm really smart. I don't expect you to get it. Manar talking on his second account about himself in the third person. Manar cooking everyone in the chat. Let's go.
That's funny.
Jen Ranch Girl, yet Jimbo is still smarter than the indoctrination of evolution. Dude doesn't realize what he admitted silly.
Of course,
I don't know what
all the time.
Yeah, I don't know what debate these people watched. Kaka Hans, who is super triggered about James letting me promote the channel and so on, which I've been doing for 2 years. It's been 2 years in January 12th since I've been doing this. And James it's a trade-off. He lets me promote the channel. I moderate the chat. And I'm the only one that actually moderates like almost every debate. So, I mean,
that's a pretty good deal.
if James doesn't say anything, why does this fucking hillbilly care about what I do? He's just jelly. Male 999, fake doctor lost already. Oh, that's adorable. Evolution requires way more faith than Christianity. The white
No, it
dwarf.
doesn't.
These guys, they think that someone writing a book and putting on some numbers will debunk evolution. Isn't that adorable?
I know.
Kaka Hans, of course, he had to say that Jimbob is winning. Where is the DNA you speak of? Is it in the room with us? Someone asking, isn't that adorable?
I know. Are these people DNA deniers?
Yes.
Because there are virus deniers, bacteria deniers. I've heard of DNA deniers.
Yeah. This one I liked. I'm Jimbo. I don't know basic science, so God made all the creatures. Manar always self-pumping. Manar reports would embarrass these two in a 1v1 debate. Like, okay. The freak, of course, had to spurg out a little bit. Random neutral chance muto bingo lipo. Okay. Kaka Hans, also baffled by the exchange rate of Max's chat. Marilyn asked, do we come from Star Farts? Adorable. This lady thinks that we are all God. Just
Overall
FYI.
God. Interesting.
Yep. Evolution is Mr. Horsongs. Evolution is a wild mythology. It's Hindu empiricism.
Is that one sentence?
If it's empiric, then it's not mythology, right?
It's not mythology.
Jen Ranch Girl, evolution is crazy, so he looks at humans and thinks all this happened. Sure, bro. Oh. Manar reports is the Muslim Andrew Wilson he's debated Rob Noor and Jimbo and destroyed them. Okay. Carefree, what is the evolutionary advantage to grow a universal weak point in the form of a nutsack if it wasn't needed for millions of years prior? It's like they don't know why the testicles are outside. It's funny as hell.
Exactly.
Marvel style, how do you sound like a dweeb as an alpha male in front of a nerd? The fuck? This one made me laugh out loud. And that was it. Those were some of the dumbest and most interesting comments from the debate.
No, seriously.
All right, let's cover the topic of the penises. Jimbob seems to think that it's either penis or no penis, that there are no intermediate sections in that. But if you do just a little bit of searching, you will find out that penises come in a wild range of varieties and types and morphologies. Dogs have corkscrew penises.
Mm-hmm.
My tortoise, it's one of the most disgusting things ever. My tortoise has a cloaca, and through the cloaca where they poop, they also push out their penis. And my tortoise can move the penis like it was an arm, and it actually has the gland, the what we typically call the head, looks like a mushroom. It opens like tortoise penises are absolutely wild, and he sometimes when the heat starts and so on, he goes walking around and takes it out and moves it. It's freaking wild. So you can have a functioning apparatus that can. Oh, wait. Mark says, nobody tell Max about the tapir. Oh, man, I have to look at now. I'm sorry. I'll do that. Not. Oh, my. That's wild. Colorado Biker says, I've been to the Penis Museum in Reykjavik, Iceland. Friggin' amazing. That would be interesting. So you can have, as long as you have I mean, what is? Let's break it down to the basics. What is the most basic structure of the penis? Like a protuberance with a duct, right? So that
Right. A
stuff can
way of
go out.
exchanging sexual material,
Right.
right? So that a mutation that one person in the population has gets combined with the mutation somebody else has, and that combination leads to an offspring. That's the basic idea.
Hmm. But uh, Jim Bob thinks that the penis and the vagina within a species they evolve separately. But given that everything starts as the same and then we differentiate, that's when you get the matching within the species. You get the vaginal conduct or the vaginal canal evolve in such a way so that it matches what it will be on the opposing thing, right?
Exactly. He thinks that both of
It's
these have
not that
evolved.
hard.
Right. He thinks both, Jim Bob thinks both of these have evolved completely randomly. And by chance they came together and the
Right.
organism became sexual from asexual. It doesn't happen. It's a gradual process. And I think all of these people don't understand what gradualism is, how things
No.
change gradually, right?
Yep.
Uh,
Indeed.
which is why he's not able to make sense of how languages change. He's not able to make sense uh, of anything that happens gradually. It's like flat earthers not being able to make sense of a gradient. Sorry,
Right.
I have to bring up my favorite flat earthers and their arguments. But
No,
I've
I
read
think
quite a bit.
it's
Uh,
perfectly valid comparison because it's the same style of
Same
science
style of debate,
denial.
right?
Yeah.
So, by the way, I had to look up anglerfish because I read about this in one of the evolution books I've read quite a bit. So, do you know how anglerfish
Yes, I
have
know.
sex? So,
Yes,
basically,
the
fish.
male. Go ahead.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
take it.
yeah.
You
So,
take it.
so they have some kind of a thing with which they catch their prey, which is why they're called anglerfish. And the
Yes, the
females
little
are much bigger.
lantern.
Yeah, the females are much bigger than the males, and the males will attach themselves to the female, and they will basically begin to atrophy and decay, and in
Yep.
the end, all that's left is their gonads. So they basically become a way of donating sperm to the female, and every other body part of the male is then gone. The female walks around or swims around with a bunch of males, male gonads attached to
Yeah.
her.
Yeah, it's wild. It's absolutely wild. And one would think that the one with the little lantern was the male. And I was genuinely surprised. I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I think that it's absolutely fascinating. And they fuse together and they become one part. And all of this is fascinating.
Right.
And
And do you know about the praying mantis?
yes, they cut off the head of
The
the male.
female, the female eats the head of the male after they copulate.
Yes.
Right. I mean, anytime somebody tells their partner, "Please don't eat my head" or something, it has a lot of meaning.
I mean, if it's not that bad of a deal, let me tell you that. Like, but yeah, the idea that it's either a full like human penis or nothing is just like weirdly hilarious. For example, rabbits have, in general, the testicles in most species are behind the penis. In rabbits, they are the other way around. The testicles are in
Interesting.
front. Yeah. So I mean, you it's I have Mark. Mark says look up the anglerfish. I have.
We
That's
just talked
what we
about,
were
yeah.
that's what we were talking about just now. Yeah,
But let
it's
me talk about,
insane.
let me briefly talk about eye evolution. So same thing with the eye, right? People
Right.
say either you have a very functional human eye or you don't have anything. How can you go from nothing to having an eye? But imagine like you're in a dark room. There's one source of light. You have your eyes tightly closed. You can still sense that light. You could tell with your eyes closed whether that strong light is on or off in the room because your eyes can sense that light even when they're totally shut. So just a light sensing mechanism can be useful to organisms living in the water because they can go in the direction of that light and search for food or whatever, right?
Hmm.
And that becomes more and more developed, that becomes sophisticated. In the end, you end up with an organism with a better sense of vision than what it started out with many generations ago, and then eventually develops into some kind of a functional eye. Uh, it's not that hard to visualize how something like this would have taken place.
No, and then how what really throws them off is that, for example, the mole, which spends most of its time underground, they don't need to see. So their eyes atrophy and they go crazy. It's like,
They
oh,
go blind,
you
right?
see, they lost. It's not evolution. They're going backwards. It's like, no, they're going forwards, because one of the things that Greg, that I also really liked, and to my taste, it's not talked about enough, is the concept of I would call it, let's say, evolutionary money. That in
Mhm.
order to make some of these changes, there are costs that have to be
Exactly. There's
paid.
always a trade-off.
There's always a trade-off. And
Right.
when the mole, in order to get a better sensitivity in their whiskers or in their smell and develop their digging paws and everything, you have to give something up. And what do they give up? Their eyes. Because if you have dirt constantly in your eyes, or if you need to develop another eyelid in order to protect your eye, that has a cost and an advantage and a disadvantage. Because in mid
Right.
space, not everything is perfect.
You can
You
do
do
no. I
gain
mean,
and you lose.
in any situation, you cannot have everything, right? So, let me give you an example. Suppose the president of your country decides to buy Antarctica, right? They cannot give everybody universal health care because you can't have both,
Yep.
right? Sorry, you know where I'm going with this example, but
Yeah,
I've
I know it. Yeah, but this idea of the trade-off, and there was another topic in which they got stuck for a little bit, that Jimbob was like, oh, but you said this word, I think it was intentionality or
right,
whatever,
right, and
and
he tried
they
to
got
nail him
stuck
down in that.
in the language. They got stuck in the language, and he's like, oh, Jimbob just discovered that language is anthropocentric. Good job, boy. Good job. Yeah, language is anthropocentric. When we say intentionality, we don't, in this case, we don't really mean intentionality. It's just the balance between random mutation and pressures, environmental pressures. Why is
Well,
this so hard to understand to
well, you know
them?
what?
I
It's
don't get
because
it.
language. It's because all the languages evolved before we understood evolution. So languages don't have the best words or verbs to describe that evolution,
Hmm.
right?
Maybe
Uh,
we should invent new words for this, and
Right.
that's
And
fine.
any good book on evolution has got lots of evidence of all of these transitions. So I was thinking of Jerry Coyne. Jerry Coyne has a series of good books. His last name is Coyne. He's a professor of evolution somewhere and uh, really popular guy. So one of his books has got this thing about feather evolution. So feathers evolved to protect dinosaurs from cold, more as insulating features. And
Hmm.
they found in fossils like feathers that are basically just a couple of hairs, right? Feathers that are symmetrical, and then feathers that are asymmetrical. So birds that fly need to have asymmetrical figures. None of the feathers are perfectly symmetrical. So there is again a full transition between having literally two hairs that insulate you to having a full set of feathers to a set of feathers that offer flight, the ability to fly.
We recently, have you seen that we recently found a very clear imprint of dinosaur feathers in a fossil? It's like it's the hollow thing, and you can clearly see the feathers. I'll see if I can pull it up. But look what we have here. Kaka Hans tries to insult me with spelling mistakes. Isn't that adorable? You fucking hillbilly hick. Oh,
Follow
that's
the chat.
oh my god! I get every time one of these idiots does something like this, I get a pair of wings.
There's a
What a
chat that
dumbass!
says there's a chat that says does Jim Bob do his all Ivy DV thing? Does he do that all the time?
He does that sometimes, but because he couldn't really go there because Greg is actual an experimental molecular biologist.
Right.
So he couldn't play that game because he does actually do experiments with evolution in the lab. So yeah, he
Exactly.
couldn't do that. But yeah, I mean, Jimbob. I think he's lying when he said today that he's not a flirt. I think he's lying because I have this. Give me 1 second.
Did I lose you for a second?
I'm here. Can
Okay,
you? I'm
I'm
here.
here.
I'm here. Give me 1 second because I took this screenshot from the debate between Whitsitt and I think it was Professor Dave. And Jim Bob asked a very flirty question. Where the fuck did I put it? I'll keep looking for it, but I've shown it before many times. In the meantime, I want to. There is one thing that I like to bring up in this debate, which is human evolution.
Mm-hmm.
And I have two papers that I like to cite, which is a paper on the evolution of people in Tibet and Peru, basically people that live in very high altitude, that they develop bigger lungs, bigger spleens, and they are basically evolved to live at very high altitude.
Exactly.
And I mean, we can see that happening today. There's no arguing that. There's studies over many years. There's papers. There's evolution. I mean, the genetic tracking. And then the other people are the water nomads of Southeast Asia that have evolved to dive underwater. And because it's basically the same. It's basically the same pressure, right? They need to breathe better, or they need to. Well, the people out in high mountains, they need to extract more out of every breath.
Mm-hmm.
And when you dive, you need to be able to hold your breath for longer. So it turns
Exactly.
out that these people that have widely different evolutionary pressures develop the same mutations, which are bigger lungs, bigger spleens, and that improves their breathing.
Right.
Uh,
So it's the people in the Andes, right, who have these mutations, and people in the Himalayas, and I think they are
yes,
independently evolved.
independent. Yeah, because
Right.
they're
Convergent. Right. Because
yes.
when humans left Africa, they'd never been up mountains, so they arrived at the Andes and the Himalayas separately, and they evolved these mutations independently. So that's a good example of convergent evolution.
Oh yeah.
So another thing is skin color, right? So somebody brought up skin color, not in the best light, but you generally find that people near the equator have darker skin color because
Yep.
obviously on the equator you've got greater incidence of UV light and you want to protect your skin. I'm dropping a lot of names, but I am really familiar with with people who talk about evolution. So there is a scientist called Nina Jablonski who gives lots of excellent YouTube talks about skin color. She's a researcher on the evolution of skin color. So the way in which the darker skin color protects your skin from sunburn is the melanin actually coats your DNA. That's how darker
Oh.
people with darker skin, that's why they resist to UV, is because the melanin is literally protecting the DNA, right?
Yep.
And so the people who went to the Native Americans in the Americas, the people in Central America, the Native Americans in Central America have darker skin than the Native Americans in Alaska, right?
Yep.
So the humans came to Alaska, then went south to Mexico and Peru and so forth. So when they were in Alaska, they had light skin. They had lost the African dark skin. But
Uh-huh.
when they came down to Mexico, they evolved the dark skin again,
Again. Yep.
right? Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
And
And
then
then
as you move,
he,
further down, you like as you go towards the tip of South America,
Again, you lose it.
you lose it again.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that fascinating? And then, have you heard of Cheddar Man?
No.
So Cheddar Man is a body I think they discovered in England, and they call him Cheddar Man. I don't know for what reason, but uh, they found the entire DNA sequence, or they found enough DNA to basically reconstruct a lot of features. So they basically were able to show that he had blue eyes and dark skin in England about 10,000 years ago. So
Oh, that's
10,000
so
years
cool.
ago, 10,000 years ago, people in England had, or some people in England had dark skin.
When I was in high school, I had a classmate. She was super dark. Her skin was like jet black. It was beautiful, and she
Hmm.
had oh my god, she had the most beautiful green eyes that I have ever seen. Oh my, I was in love with her. She was so gorgeous. Sorry about that little anecdote.
The memories.
Here I have the what I was telling you about. Jimbob, in the debate between Whitted and Professor Dave, asked, "What physical properties does space-time have such that it can bend?" So, I mean, don't tell me he's not a flirt. He is a flirt in
Oh,
hiding.
he's a flirt.
I think that Daddy Andrew Wilson told him, "Do not flirt in public. You're making us look bad." And he had to stop because he gets all his directions from Daddy Andrew. And then I have this to share, which it's the paper that I used to make my argument on physiological and genetic adaptations in to diving in sea nomads. And yes, these are the Bahau people from Southeast Asia. And we have here a paper which
Mhm.
they are compared also to other Southeast Asian populations and tracked across like time and space and so on. And like, okay, you wanna do you think you can feel bro your way out of this paper? Go ahead. Like, first of all, read it, then understand it, and then we can talk about your fail bro stuff.
And some of these
We
people.
have
Oh, hey, Isa.
the man, the legend, the one, the only Isa Gavir. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
I am not gonna lie. I did not see the debate. I didn't even know. I just saw Aftershow linked, and I was like, "Oh, I'll come. Let's come check it out and see what's happening."
Oh yeah, it was Jimbob doing Jimbob stuff. Cheddar Man, says Colorado Biker, was discovered in Cheddar George in England. He was named after Gorge.
Of
He
the
was
gorge.
named after the gorge. Pable for 750 euro pesos. Thank you so much. Hey comrades, drop a like, people. Have you seen Got It Given with Duffy? Yes, I have been watching that, and yeah, it's been something. Also, where is it? Who said it? Oh, Lindsay. Oh, yeah, here. If you haven't subscribed to Star Stuff, I'm talking to do an interview with her next week. We got her over those 500 subs. So I mean, she does really good stuff, and she's super kind, and love her. I wish her all the success, and of course, she has a South African accent that doesn't drive me crazy like Facazzo. She has a lovely accent, so it's going to be a great interview. Kaka Hans keeps crashing out. It's funny. Look, what does he say now? Hold on. You'd think you'd be nicer considering the crowd you draw isn't your own. Oh, stupid fuckface. All of these people are here for me. Not for you, not for MBD or for anything else. These people are fans of the channel. Well, not just me. Isa, Dr. J, our friends that come on the panel. You have no fucking clue what you're talking about because you're a bit of a hillbilly, probably with a meth addiction, I would say, and you're definitely an alcoholic. So get back in your corner and stop bitching. So what
By
is
the way, Max, does Jimbob only do evolution stuff on his channel? I briefly checked out his channel. Everything seemed to be about evolution, but that might just be the recent videos.
Yeah, might be. No, he does all of the
Science, skepticism,
evolution versus Christianity and
the whole
that
bit.
kind
I see.
that kind of, yeah. All of the right wing nutter type of talking points and all of
Of
that
course,
stuff.
you could tell that totally from what he was saying.
Yeah. Let's see. Colorado Biker says, my primary development 6 months to 6 years old was at 9,000 feet altitude. Oh my God. According to MRIs and X-rays, I have an additional 8% lung capacity that someone raised at sea level. Yeah, when I did my evolution for the I did my evolution debate against Sal, I gave the argument that, for example, if you work out, you develop muscles, and that usually doesn't get transferred into the following generation, but
Correct.
there are some mechanical changes that happen. For example, if you train to hold your breath a lot in pools, if you're a diver and so on, there are mechanical changes that can get written into over many generations, like the water nomads, that can be written into the genetic code. Like, because if every individual in the population from the constant diving and diving and diving develops larger lungs, at some point, the kids will start being born with naturally larger lungs.
No, I have to disagree with that. I don't think
Really?
the mechanical changes will get written. So again, what Colorado Biker is talking about is not evolution. It's basically uh, we have some amount of adaptation that enables us to develop better lungs when we're in high altitudes and better, breathing capacity when you're diving and all of that. But evolution has to happen at the genetic level, and I mean, it has to start there, and it's a population thing. So, in a population, there will always be individuals with better breathing capacity who will survive better if they're in an aquatic environment or high altitude environment, and they will be better at reproductive success. So, it is only the genetic mutations and the reproductive success that determine how evolution takes place. And by mutation, I mean all kinds of genetic changes, not just single point mutations.
Right. I guess I'll have. I don't know. I'll try to see if we can ask, because I that's the way I understood it. That, like,
Right. I'm
what's
pretty sure
happening with
that's
the.
I'm pretty sure mechanical changes don't, because it has to be a germline mutation. So you could have a mutation, like I could have a mutation now, but I'm not going to have any kids from this point on. So uh or even if I were to have kids, it's if it's not a mutation in my sexual cells, then it won't transmit, right? It has to be a germline mutation. Only then will it transmit.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
But that's interesting. You've debated not Doctor Sal, right? He's that.
That
Is he
crazy wacko. Yes.
right? And he actually learns biology from that Creation Myths channel, right? That's the
Yes.
same guy. Yes,
Yes.
yes. I mean, in that sense, I think he's cute in the sense, cute as in like baby like cute. But he's a bit of a wacko. I agree with that.
He lost his mind with me. Like, literally lost his freaking mind with me. Started yelling, like eating the mic. No, it was
But
glorious.
you're a good debater, Max, and you're obstinate. So I think that will drive anyone crazy. See, I think the point with debating with some of these people like Jim Bob and flat earthers is not to play your game. I think Dr. Greg was being I don't know if he's an academic, but he was trying to be an academic type biologist and
Yeah.
only talking academic points. No, you try to play that dirty game with them a little bit. And if they're trying to game you, you game them back. That's the way you try to show off in these debates. And I think not everybody is able to get
Yeah,
that.
but Dr. Greg wasn't thinking. He was, like, academics are, because he's an actively working scientist, and
Mhm.
they want to explain it to you. The problem is that Jimbo is extremely bad faith, so he's not receptive to the explanation. Jimbo has been schooled on evolution by literally everyone he debates. And still he continues with the same bullshit. And he's like, yeah, I grant you populations. Like, well, you don't need to grant us populations because populations are fucking there. We can see them. So
Right.
you don't need to grant anything. If they
Right.
are there, and you can say all you want. It won't make your argument.
Right. By the way, have you seen the debate where Whitsitt argued against evolution?
I think so. Yeah, I don't remember against who.
Oh,
But
he was miserable. It was against somebody I've not seen much, but I mean, he was just absolutely.
He thinks
horrendous.
he can
Talk
word
about
salad.
anything. Well, looks like he's living with his mama right now, and she doesn't allow him too much social media. It looks like.
I know. I sent him I tweeted at him like, "Hey, come back. I miss you. You can't find much people that are wrong about everything like Whitsitt. So I do actually miss him, and he's my spirit animal. And I bought my blouse because I want to be like him when I grow up. And I told him that even he should go back to streaming, even if he's streaming from his mom's house, that we won't mock him for that. For that. But yeah, no, Whitsitt, buddy, I miss you. Come back. The internet is not the same without you. That it was. I was pleasantly surprised by Dr. Greg. I think he did really, really.
I think it did really well. Yes.
I have his channel. I might. I do. I love doing interviews. I love it. So
yeah,
I'll try to get more.
That would be wonderful. Yes, that would be awesome.
Remember,
and if you have the link, if you could drop it again, because I wanted to subscribe to his channel as well.
Oh yeah, you got it.
Thank you.
1 second. Here we go. I'll put it on the chat here, and I'll put it for you on the private chat. So if you want to subscribe from the peer review, Jimbo is a professional debater, whereas Dr. Greg appears to be a nice guy who just wants to educate people. A professional debater plays the opponent and not necessarily interested in the truth. Yeah, I mean that's all.
That's the point.
Yeah, that's a problem. And of course, on top of that, Jimbo is extremely bad faith, a little bit of a liar. A little bit. Yeah, because I mean, every time, like it happened to me, I would go in my debate with him. I would go. I would say ABC, and Jimbo would go like, "Oh, so you're saying KYH?" It's like, wait, what? No, I said none of that. And then I gave him the explanations and everything, and in my debate, he crashed out and asked me the same question for an hour when it had been answered the first time that he asked it, and wouldn't let me go away a couple of times for some reason. So it was a weird debate, yeah. And I was actually trying to be nice because I didn't want to come across as, the wacko atheist. But the next time I speak to this doofus, I'm going to put him in his place because, it wasn't I wasn't comfortable in being nice to him. What else? I think we covered the big topics, the penises, the getting stuck on the anthropocentric view of our language.
Exactly. And I think he didn't talk much about the phallic evolution. But he was hinting, I mean, I guess Jimbob badly wanted to go in that direction, and Dr. Greg still, never did.
Yeah. It's wild. But I think Greg, I don't know how big of a debater he is, but he held his own, had maybe a couple of missteps here and there. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I'm going to get in touch.
Let me talk about his responses to my super chat. So
you got
Jimbob's responses. So I sent the question about paternity test. This is a question that Kent Hovind has been asked is you can do a paternity test to test whether two people are siblings or somebody else's parent, and courts will accept that as 100% evidence, right?
Oh yeah.
So why do you trust it at that level, but why don't you trust the same DNA test when it tells you that a human and a chimp are so many percent related? So that they will not accept, right? And Jim Bob's response was that, well, whenever you do a paternity test, you have the father. No, you don't. You can test if such and such was such and such a sibling without the father being present. So, in the same way, you can test whether a chimp and a human are related. So that's perfectly possible. So that's why I got the hint that Jim Bob did not know about how DNA testing is done, which is why I asked the next question about describe how it is done. And Jim Bob pathetically failed. Like he didn't have any clue of what sequence alignment was and what it's done, whether it was a natural process or a process that takes place during DNA testing. And Dr. Greg just shone there. He just was able to describe it to a T and describe like all the myriad details and, philosophize about how modern biology is more data driven and all of that. So that was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it made Jimbo so uncomfortable. He had to literally
And
cut
so
him off
he did it so
mid-sentence to ask a
ignorant.
stupid question.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's what makes him so slimy, because he was like, oh no, like he's showing that he really knows what he's talking about, and he had to cut him off. Yeah, that was a great question. And when you asked him that he needed to study DNA before, he said a very flirt thing to say that, oh no, they rely on assumptions and so on.
Of course.
But but like, yeah, assumptions are not a bad thing, and yeah, we do presume the uniformity of nature. So why would we give that away? There's no
And
reason
that's a
for
much
that.
better assumption than assuming that somebody created things and things have changed randomly. So the same, have you heard about this HLA gene conundrum in creationism?
No, tell me.
So, a lot of people who deny evolution also believe the Earth was 6,000 years old, or Earth is 6,000 years old, and it was created by a god and all of that, right? So these people believe that Noah's flood happened and all of humanity descended from Noah and his family. So there is one gene that has got, I think, 10,000 alleles, 10,000 different forms in all of humans. And if 10,000 forms had to evolve in 4,000 years from 8 people or 10 people in Noah's family, the rate of mutation would be far greater than what is required to turn an ant into an elephant. So basically, there are times when they need a tremendous rate of mutation and they don't admit it. And other times they say, well, you can never have that kind of a mutation rate. It's just like the flirts, they hate refraction, but they always seek refuge at refraction when it helps them.
Right. That is so interesting. I think I found what I was
So you were
looking
looking for
for.
something.
Yes, I was telling you about a fossil that was a dinosaur feather, like really preserved. I think I found it. Give me just a second. March 2025. I found two that really illustrate this. One is just the feather fossilized, and the other one is, look at that,
Wow.
a fossilized feather.
Dinosaur feather.
Yeah,
Nice.
dinosaur feather, yes. And it happened on a volcanic deposit, which it's why it has such great detail. And then this one also has, the imprints of feathers, like
Right.
here,
Is
which
that
is
a
very
baby
cool.
or something? I don't know the size of this thing, so
Skeleton of a Pulosaurus kinglonging. I'll put the link to the full article in the side chat.
that's awesome.
But it's truly wonderful times we're living in, and we're discovering so much
All of
stuff.
this
And
fascinating stuff, right?
with the new tech that we have to like look below ground before digging and finding stuff, it's just
And also, like, human
amazing.
evolution is so fascinating. The fact that,
Yeah.
there were species like Neanderthals, and do you know about Denisovans? Denisovans.
No.
So
What's that?
Neanderthals were a species of Homo that, like Homo sapiens, they're either a subspecies or a very close species to us that survived, that overlap with us, right? So,
Hmm.
other than Neanderthals, there's a third species called Denisovans, Denis, Denisovans, that lived in Siberia. And all the evidence we have is one finger of a girl child that was completely recovered from a cave. And using that, they were able to sequence the DNA, and they found that this falls into a different clade than humans and Neanderthals. So, yeah, Denisovans were another species of human, exactly. And there is evidence that they've interbred with humans and probably with Neanderthals as well. So, I mean, like, all this fascinating history, right? It's amazing that we've been able to dig into it this far. And it's even fascinating to think about how far we can go.
Oh yeah, and the stuff that we will discover tomorrow. On the full skeleton that I was showing just now, because they have the skull, they can actually, because of the internal structures of the face and so on, they determined that it didn't roar like Jurassic Park dinosaurs, that it chirped like birds, which also gives credence of that the process continuing into how songbirds and the other noises that all the other birds make, which is
Uh-huh.
cool as hell.
It is cool as hell.
Yeah. All right. I think we've covered the important parts of the this debate. Tomorrow we have the after show for the debate. FTFE versus Slow Sanchez. And I was torn because on MDD, there's also our homeboy, the best debater, the king of MDD, Nadir Ahmed. He's debating tomorrow, but we are going to leave that one to do a review later. Instead of after show, we're going to do the after show for FTFE because he asked me, hey, do the after show. Is like, yes, and it's going to be awesome.
Oh, so
Is
we're
this
not doing an after show. Okay, because I actually know the other debater. He's a friend of mine, so I had actually invited him, but I'll let him know. That we're not doing it. Fine.
The other day I was speaking with FTFE, and you know that I think we can do 2 streams at the same time. So if you want to hold that after show, that's fine. I think we can do that.
All right, cool. I'll see if he comes, then we'll do it. If not, then
If
I'm
not, arrange for next week, and we can do the review with him if he wants.
Sure.
Yeah, but FTFE asked me the other day. I went on his stream and he said, "Hey, let's have the after show on your channel." And it's like, "Oh yeah, yes,
problem.
this is going to be on FTFE's channel. The video is already up, and the after show is also already up." So
Good.
ask him, Isa, and let me know. And if he says he would rather do the after show than the review, we
Sure.
can certainly do that, and we can try at least.
Sounds good.
And for next week, I'm also trying to arrange an interview with Star Stuff, an up-and-comer flat Earth debunker. She's great. And we're going to talk about how she got started and what got her into this and that kind of stuff. She already said yes. Just have to arrange a date and so on. Because she's from South Africa, so we have to make sure that
time zones?
It's on a time that she's available. All right, we'll do final thoughts and we'll be on our way. Earth is Skeptic.
So this is my first introduction to both debaters. Dr. Greg came off as a polished academician who completely knew what he was talking about. He was just a bit too academic, and he didn't actually play the debate the way he should have, I thought. But that notwithstanding, he was amazing. Jim Bob, again, my first introduction, he was just a racist, bigoted asshole because of explicit reasons I gave before. I'm not going to go into that. And he was just railroading the debate with philosophical points that had nothing to do with the science, and he demonstrated he didn't know the science. So, I mean, a very big contrast between the two. That was my take home.
All right, thank you so much. Isa, anything you would like to say? I know you didn't watch the debate, but
I'll probably review it. I'll probably take a look at it. I just didn't know we had a debate, but I did meet Jim Bob in person, so I know about him. I've seen his debates, but I don't know about Gregory's position. It was about evolution. I've seen his arguments for evolution. Usually, when I see, he usually takes a philosophical approach. Did he do that in this debate too?
yeah.
Because that's usually what I see with in this kind of space, that you kind of use philosophical arguments. It's interesting because I'm taking a class called critical thinking at community college, and that's the thing. We're actually talking about having premises, and do your arguments have validity? It's kind of cool, actually. I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about that kind of team usually uses that way of kind of debunking evolution, which is an interesting approach, kind of using philosophy to engage scientific theory. It's I don't know. I think I can see how you can argue it, and it's still really complex. It just, I don't know. It doesn't usually resonate with me. I think they're just two different languages, personally.
Yeah. I personally think that the only way you debunk science is with more science, not Phil Bro stuff, not like like they do. It's
The
every
premises,
time.
logical fallacies, all of that stuff. I don't really think that's how. I just think they're two different languages, and you need to use the right language. You know what I mean? Sort of like
Yep.
if you when you speak Spanish, there's this right time and place for using that language, or English. They, just in that linguistic realm, there's a different kind of language here. They use a different kind of alphabet. They use a different kind of grammar. Metaphorically, metaphysically speaking. But I agree. I just don't think. I don't think they work. And one person I've seen do this was Jake the Metaphysician with R and Raw. I don't know if you saw that debate. They were debating
Yes,
about
I
God
think
and
so.
stuff. It was really bad. Like, Jake was trying to show off his like philosophical prowess, and I'm like, that doesn't make you look smart. It makes you look like a pompous, arrogant, not so nice character. You know what I mean? It does not make you look like you're actually being good faith and trying to engage the topic by trying to sound smarter than your opponent.
Mhm.
I'm not impressed by that either, personally.
Yeah, they got stuck a little bit today on the fact that language is anthropocentric. So the doctor said, well, he said something about intention, and Jimbo was like, oh, you see, you're talking about intention, but these things are not intended. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake, it's a limitation of the language, Jimbo. Get a grip. Colorado Biker said, thanks for this. I'll try to catch you next time. You're more than welcome. I could join the panel again. Yes, it was my bad. I forgot to pin the link. I got distracted. But yeah, the after shows are always open panel. Everyone is welcome, and you are always welcome. Tomorrow, remember, we have the after show for FTFE, and we'll see if Isa has a parallel after show. Or if not, we are going to do the review sometime next week. We have the interview with Star Stuff coming up, and we'll see what else. There's a bunch of debates between here and January 31st. Now, I was planning on doing on purchasing the membership and watching the debate, but I'm moving on January 31st. So what might happen is that we might do sort of a general, not an after show, but a general summary of what DebateCon was, maybe on Sunday. I think it's Sunday, February 1st. We'll see how that goes because, yeah, I'm moving on January 31st, so I won't be able to pay attention to all the debates.
And Max, are you
Yes.
attending DebateCon?
No, not yet.
Okay. And were
I'm
you planning
campaigning.
to the US
I'm
at some point?
campaigning. Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
nice.
I've been asking for a while. James just doesn't want to pay for the trip, but I mean, he's paid for other people that live even farther than me. So I will get there eventually.
Cool.
So yeah, I'm campaigning.
If you're coming to
Hashtag
the
Max.
US, let us. If you're coming to the US, let us know.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We can show you the
And
pole star.
yes, that will be the first thing I see. And I plan, like, if I ever get myself over to the Bacon invited by James, I plan on staying, like taking some time off of work and staying, because many people have invited me to their respective states. So in my head, I'm already planning a coast to coast kind of a thing to
Very
go
cool.
meet all of our friends along the way. Before we go, make sure to do the social thing is like, share, subscribe, send this to a friend, send this to your significant other, go to the corner, yes, the corner of your street, and just subscribe to Yerba Mate Talks. And that way we can share the love for the channel. Good to see you, Isa. I thought that you would have been busy these past couple of days.
I've been pretty busy. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you are, but it's always great to see you, my friend. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Take care. Have a great night. And
Good night.
enjoy. Bye-bye.
Bye.